We are joined at halftime this evening by St. Thomas Academy head football coach Dave Ziebarth. Thank you for joining us, Dave.
Thank you very much for having me.
Though it's still early in the season, the Cadets are facing what has become a great rival in the Classic Suburban Conference, the Matamidi Zephyrs. Tell us about your impressions of the rivalry and the two programs over the past few.
Well, I think we've played each other now for, I think this is the 12th year that we've been in the conference together, and it's probably become, our two teams, probably the premier rivalry each year. I think we both look towards playing each other the most. They're great games. Our last two games have been, one was 2 years ago, it was in the quarterfinals of the state tournament, and it went down in the last couple plays. Very exciting. And then last year, it went into overtime. And I think they both represent how hard the kids play each other and respect each other. And that's the team I think our kids want to beat the most, and we're the one they want to beat the most in the conference. So I think it's a great rivalry, and it's been a lot of fun, and we have tremendous respect for their kids and their coaching staff.
I know you don't want to look past any opponents, but are there any other games on the schedule this year that really look tough?
Well, every coach says this, and everyone kind of thinks it's a bunch of malarkey, but it's really true. We can't look by anybody. So when we get done tonight, if we're lucky enough to win, we're going to have to play, I think it's Tartan next at home. And Tartan plays us tough a lot of times, and so that's going to be a hard game. And then we have North St. Paul at homecoming, and we got the distractions of homecoming. But North St. Paul has given us some fits. They like to throw the ball a lot, and their coaches do a great job of finding weaknesses. And we're going to have to be ready to play them. And then Hill comes in. We've got Holy Family. And then we end up with Sibley, and all those are rivalry games and a lot of fun. And we have a really good conference, and they're all going to be tough games. So I really don't think you can say we don't have any easy games coming up. So we're worried about all of them.
St. Thomas Academy does very well in a number of sports. Are there certain attributes of the young men who come to STA that inherently help them compete in football or other activities?
Well, I think one of the real true attributes to be a good football player, you have to be disciplined. And our kids are very disciplined. They have a very tough schedule here. The military department teaches them leadership and discipline. And if they're not on top of the things they're supposed to be doing, they're going to really struggle academically. And our kids learn very quickly how to keep on top of the different things they have. And so it makes it a lot easier to coach football when you got disciplined kids. And our kids are very bright. And so those two things really make a difference. We can do a lot of things and put in a lot of stuff. And our kids pick it up, and they kind of thrive on the more challenging things that we have them do, the better they do. So I think both the discipline and the intelligence of our kids makes a huge difference.
Especially with the emphasis on off-season conditioning and weight training in all sports these days, are there any potential obstacles that an STA student-athlete faces in being able to compete at the highest level?
Our student-athletes do a really good job competing already on the highest level, I think. Our hockey team has won the state championship a couple times in the last couple of years. We've been in the dome. We've been knocking on the door. In 2006, we played for the state championship in football. Basketball has, in that year, won the state championship. We are on a very high level right now, but to maintain that high level, we really need a student activity center, and we need a new pool. We need both those things very much, and they get tied together, I think. We need to be able to have a fitness center where the kids can lift weights. Our weight room right now is really, really small. If we get 40 kids in there, it's too small for them. We can't do the stuff. We need a good swimming program. We have a great swimming program. We won a state championship numerous times, and we need to maintain that. That's a great tradition here. And so we need to get a new pool set up for that. We need new basketball courts. We don't want kids we can run a good intramural program if we have a lot more basketball courts. So all of our teams in basketball can play at the same time. It makes a huge difference. And our conference is pushing for that, so we need to get that done. We need new locker rooms. We have outdated facilities. Our facilities are the same they were in 1965, and I think that's sad. We need to invest in the future of the school and the future of the kids that are coming here, and they deserve to have good facilities. So we need to really work on that.
What specifically do you think needs to be addressed at St. Thomas Academy from a facility standpoint to meet the needs of today's students?
We need the new student activity center, very much so. I think that's something we'll have to push for. And one of the reasons for that is that in that plan are new classrooms, and then we're going to remodel some older classrooms to make the science labs better and to improve some other areas. So there'll be a real ripple effect at the student activity center. It'll free up space in our normal school area to make those things better. We'll have new classrooms in there. We're going to have a fine arts center so the band can have a really nice area There's going to be an art studio down there. There's lots of areas that they're going to really improve on, and hopefully get more kids out for choir. And the more room we have, the more of those kind of things we can offer and have kids involved with. So I just think overall it will help every area academically and athletically.
What does the Student Activity Center do specifically for the football program?
Well, in football, one of the biggest problems we have is in-season lifting. We really can't do very much because we can't get our team in there to lift. We don't start practice to 3:50. We have mandatory tutoring here until 3:20 every day, and then I've got a couple coaches from outside the building. So to make sure the kids go to mandatory tutoring and have time to do that and get a little break, we start at 3:50. And if we are going to run like some teams do, where you have practice then go in and lift, our kids wouldn't get out of here till 7:30. And if we have a nice weight room, we can get them in and out during practice time and have enough room to be able to do a 20-minute lift, and it wouldn't really affect the time we're out on the field. We can't do that right now. That really hurts us. And then not having a pool, we have lots of kids in football that go out for swimming. And they're not great swimmers, but they go out because swimming is really a good activity in terms of building strength, agility, flexibility, and it's tough. And they get really good conditioning. And we have two kids, one young man, Anthony Hayes, is at Stanford now, and his brother Isaac has got a full ride at the University of Minnesota, and both of them swam for the whole time they were here too. They would come in at 6:30 in the morning and do swimming, and then would lift after school. And we need those facilities. And football is really a sport built on strength and flexibility and agility, and we have very inadequate facilities for that.
Looking at your coaching career during your tenure here at St. Thomas Academy, you'd mentioned the 2006 state championship game, got into the semifinals last year, multiple conference championships, multiple sectional titles as well. Looking back during your time, what are some of the things that stand out?
You know, the kids are what always stands out. Each team is different and unique, and they make it really special. So I've always told the kids I really love it when I watch them celebrate on the field after they've done something really, really good, whether it's during the game or after the game. And I enjoy that camaraderie and the closeness that you get in the relationships that you build with the kids and build with the other kids and the other coaches. And that's really what stands out to me. You know, winning is a lot of fun, and I want to win, but I want the kids to develop a close relationship and care about each other. And when I see them doing that, that gives me a great reward, and that's really what we push for. And we've had that. You don't win if you don't have that. If you don't get along, if you have selfish people, you're not going to win. And I think you can see some of the pro sports in Minnesota that you can see that happening too. Is they have selfish players sometimes, and they don't succeed as well. And then you see teams that have players who give it all to each other, and they succeed even when they're not very talented. And our kids have been talented, but they also have bought into the program of playing for each other and with each other. And that is probably the most satisfying thing to me.
Looking at St. Thomas Academy athletics as a whole, all of the success, and that's all the teams from your football team to basketball and hockey and swimming and whatnot, why do you think the St. Thomas Academy cadet athlete is so successful and so special?
Well, I think because the school sets up an environment in which they are challenged and encouraged, and they are able to meet their goals because we give them the tools to do that in the classroom. And our kids understand there's a correlation between how they do in the classroom and how they do at the athletic fields. And we want them doing that. And also we have lots of kids who play multiple sports. The idea of playing one sport, many of the coaches here think is ridiculous, and we need them to play multiple sports. And we understand that they're going to be able to compete better if they do that. I want as many of our kids out for basketball and hockey and baseball and track as we can get out. And if we lose some time and some kids can't build strength or something because of that, I think you get that offset by the competition and being with friends in other sports. And I think we really do a good job here of challenging our student athletes to get better in the classroom, to get better on the field, not accepting mediocrity and unsatisfactory effort. And our kids learn to give their best. And when our kids do the best, they usually come out on top.
That's fantastic. I'm sure St. Thomas Academy will be able to accomplish those things. I look forward to hearing more about it. Thanks for coming in, Dave, and good luck in the second half.
Thank you very much.